Hey everyone, today we're going to start a new PowerPoint called Introduction to Chemistry. This used to be a whole chapter, but I just narrowed it down to talking about the first two sections. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to talk about is what is matter. Matter has to do with chemistry, so in order to understand chemistry, we need to have a better understanding of the definition of matter. Well, matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. This includes in this picture any trees, the water, the buildings, even the air are all examples of matter because one, they have mass, and two, they take up some kind of space. So, what exactly is chemistry? Well, one thing, chemistry answers many questions that most people have about the world that we live in. Your textbook defines chemistry as the study of the composition of matter and the changes that matter undergoes. Now, if you're wondering what composition means, that just means the makeup. What are things made up of? For example, carbon is going to make up paper. A key question here is to understand about chemistry is it affects all aspects of life and most natural events, and that the reason is because all living and non-living things are made up of matter. Chemistry affects you and I. Chemistry is also going to help us understand tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, thunderstorms, but even things in our everyday life like what cleaning supplies to use. When it comes to chemistry, there are about 5 traditional areas of studying chemistry. Most of the time, people just associate chemistry as a single class, but there are actually more in detail classes you can take to understand the different aspects of it. The 5 areas are organic chemistry, which I actually took in college, inorganic chemistry, biochem, analytical chem, and physical chem, which sometimes you might hear referred to as P-chem. Now let's go into each one of those areas. What is organic chemistry? Organic chemistry is defined as the study of all chemicals that have the element carbon in it. And if you remember from junior high, carbon is the element symbol C. We have carbon in us, we're carbon-based life forms. So when you study organic chemistry, you are studying some of the body processes that you find within ourselves. Any living thing will have carbon. What is the opposite of organic chemistry? Well, that's going to be inorganic chemistry. This is the study of compounds that do not contain carbon. These are going to be found in non-living things like rocks and minerals and plastics. The next area is biochemistry. Think about the word bio. If you've had biology, you studied living things. So biochemistry is going to be the study of chemistry that takes place within living organisms. In other words, their processes. For example, how does a muscle cell send a signal to stimulate other muscle cells? Well, that happens with different elements and chemistry within your body. Here's other examples. Muscle contraction I gave, but also digestion. The next one is analytical chemistry. This is an area of study that focuses on the composition of matter. So exactly what are things made up of? A task that would fall into this area of chemistry is measuring the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So the thing we're studying is the atmosphere. What is that made up of and how much? So how much carbon dioxide? How much water vapor? How much nitrogen? And the last one is physical chemistry. Physical chemistry deals with the mechanism, the rate, and the energy transfer that occurs when matter undergoes a change. So what I mean by that is what steps does it take during a reaction to get our product? How fast does it happen? And the energy transfer. Does things lose energy or does it gain energy? Now that we've covered those 5 areas of chemistry, there's 2 more that I want to hit on while we're on this topic. The first one I'm going to hit up is pure chemistry. Pure chemistry, your book defines as the pursuit of chemical knowledge for its own sake. This is just chemistry that you want to learn just to learn it. There's no reason, we're just interested in it. So a chemist doesn't expect that there's going to be any immediate practical use for the knowledge. They just want to further their knowledge in that area. The opposite of that is going to be applied chemistry. Applied chemistry is research that's done because they're trying to reach some goal or an application. They're trying to advance some kind of technology, or for example, they want to do more research on how to cure cancer. Usually, what happens is pure chemistry and applied chemistry are often linked because what happens is we're going to start investigating this area because we're just interested in it, and then oftentimes that's when someone's like, well, this can actually be used for this reason. A lot of the big ideas in chemistry are as follows. One, chemistry is essential science because it relates to everything. One, we've already hit up on that. We've talked about it. The second thing, electrons and the structures of atoms, we will talk about that and learn about it this year. Bonding and interactions, we will learn about bonding in chapters 7 and 8. Reactions, we will hit reactions in regular chemistry as well. And a couple other ones is kinetic theory. This one is hit up a little bit in integrated science, but I mostly talk about it when I get to advanced chem. The mole and quantifying matter, we do begin that and then we go deeper in advanced chem. Matter and energy, we talk about. And the last one is carbon chemistry, which we skip. The second part of this is just talking about chemistry and how does it relate to you as a student. Why study chemistry? Your book gives 3 general reasons why you should study chemistry. Those 3 reasons are: it helps explain the natural world, explains the world you live in. It helps prepare people for careers. People don't think about it, but all careers use some aspect of chemistry, even if you don't think about it. Even somebody who is a house cleaner has to know chemistry to know what chemicals to not mix together. And then the last one is to produce informed citizens. If we're talking about explaining the natural world, it satisfies the questions that we have. For example, when we cut apples, do they turn brown when they're exposed to air? How does putting lemon juice prevent them from turning brown? Why do eggs have a certain texture and they change texture when we boil them? Why does water expand when it freezes? Why does sugar dissolve faster in hot water than cold water? And why yeast makes bread dough rise? All of these questions can be answered using chemistry. Again, prepare for a career. Chemists contribute to society in a lot of ways. You actually don't have to have the word chemist in your job to benefit from understanding simple chemistry. And the next one is being an informed citizen. Industries, private foundations, and federal and state government, they all provide funds for scientific research because science is going to help you develop different technologies. The fun fact here that I always mention when I give this lesson is understanding chemistry allows you to have a voice and say in what you want your president or whoever you elect to fund. For example, some presidents are really behind funding NASA research. Space exploration could not take place if it didn't have any federal funding. NASA's research has actually led to development for a lot of items that we use on Earth, including smoke detectors, scratch-resistant plastic lenses, heart monitors, even your flat-screen TVs. That was NASA. So what if all the money spent on space exploration was used to find a cure for cancer? You can actually decide that by saying a vote, doing your research, going out there and being an informed citizen and an active part of society. You will need to make choices that will influence the direction of scientific research. Again, you may vote directly on some issues through ballot initiatives or even indirectly through who who you choose to elect. Now, when it comes to scientific research, there is no one correct answer, but at least having some background knowledge will allow you to evaluate this information put in front of you, come to an informed opinion, and make a decision. This is the very last thing we're going to talk about, is because the reason we do chemistry is because it leads to advances in technology. Chemistry is very beneficial for our society. So, what exactly is technology? A lot of people think technology is things like your smartphone, your TV, your tablets, your Xbox. But in fact, technology is anything that you use in everyday life that makes things easier. So, basic items that count as technology are things like sneakers, cereal. All of those are technology products. The book definition is technology is the means by which society provides its members with those things that are needed and desired. And the modern research leads to these technologies. And these technologies help make our environment a better place to live. It helps conserve and produce energy in order to heat our house. It improves human life. Getting a car makes me not have to walk everywhere. And it just expands our knowledge that we have. And that's basically the end of all of that section. If you got confused at any part of that, make sure that you're asking questions. And I hope you guys have a good day.